Hello, I'm Teague Bass, brand ambassador for Yay Plus, and you're watching Channa 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 podcast. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of my podcast. We have a very special guest today joining all the way from Malaysia. We have Mr. Teague Bass. How are you, Teague?
Yo. Hey, Channa Channa, how are you doing, man? All is good here. How about
I'm
you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just had lunch a little over an hour ago and had some bit time before the interview. So nice to finally have you on the podcast.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure to be here. Seriously, really, pleasure. Thanks for
So
inviting me.
yeah. So Teague, how's the situation in Malaysia with the pandemic and COVID and everything?
Well, we just went back on the MCO, which is kind of a restrictions to traveling restrictions, just I think Wednesday, 3 days ago. It's been on and off because we were on this restriction about a month ago, and so we're back on again. You're only allowed two people to go out of the house, and one person can go cycling on so it's within a 10-kilometer radius.
Right.
So last time it was 5-kilometer radius. So this time, but Malaysia is handling the situation very well. You know, they're really on top of it.
Right.
So hats off to them. You know.
Right. So, Teague, I think I saw you perform. I think was in 2017 when you and Alif opened for Tyler Bryant, right?
Uh yeah, that was a really real fun gig, man. In fact, Tyler Bryant, he really liked the band and he recommended to Slash and Axl Rose for us to. We were supposed to open up with Guns N' Roses, right?
Right.
But Axl Rose did not want a local band to open up for the show. Can you believe it?
No. Wow.
Can you believe that? Yeah, he flew people in from the States. Tyler Bryant to open up. He flew in someone, I think, from Australia, but he did not want a local band to be an opening act for this. I think that was very rude because you come to Singapore, you're playing in their country. You should give some respect and say, look, we gotta let a local talent open up for our show. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you know what, Axel? You don't have me as a fan anymore.
So, Teague, how long you been staying in Malaysia? And you basically travel between Malaysia and Singapore. So, how long you been staying there?
Well, I first started coming to Malaysia back 30 years ago in 90, right? And in and out, in and out. Matter of fact, all traversing all of Asia because doing gigs. So I've been coming here on and off for 30 years. And now my wife and I, we moved back to Malaysia in 2019. Yeah.
Right.
So this is like for me, man, it's like home. I've always loved Malaysia from the very beginning. Yeah, I love this place. Beautiful country, beautiful people.
Yeah, because I'm from Sri Lanka, so I kind of see the similarity when I go to Malaysia because it's a bigger version of Sri Lanka. I feel that because it's kind of same culture, same sort of food and stuff.
Right. And speaking of Sri Lanka, your home country, I also performed in Colombo, Sri Lanka, back in '98.
Wow.
Yeah. Beautiful place or country. I went up to Norelia and Kandy up into the it's a beautiful country, man. The tea plantations going down the slopes of the mountainside and the waterfalls cascading out of the side of the hills. Man, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's truly a great. I mean, it's a tourist like dream place to go, right? You have everything there, and the nature, the adventure, the culture. People are very nice as well,
Yeah.
right?
Right. It's just as you said, it is a lot like in similarities of Malaysia, and the people, like you said, the culture, very friendly. Uh, looking forward to going back there someday and doing a performance. No doubt. If they ever get invited back to Sri Lanka, yes.
Yeah. So, T, can you tell me a little bit about your childhood, where you grew up, and how did you like got first experience of music?
Yeah, that's well, I grew up in a small town in southwestern Michigan, a little town called South Haven, Michigan. It's right on the lake, right? And small towns, like only population 9,000 people, kind of like
Right.
I always call it little Mayberry RFD. Everybody knows each other. I think there was only a couple high schools or whatever, one elementary. Back in that day, it was very, very small. It's grown a bit now. It's like a small resort town, but it's a beautiful little community, you know. And I grew up there, 310 Humphrey Street, South Haven, Michigan, Elkinberg Park. Right, I got to give a shout out to South Haven, my hometown, man. Everybody that's listening out there, and my little friends were growing up. My best friends were Leon Cunningham and Ricky Owens and Joey Gamble. And we'd always meet in the park. And my mom could look right outside the window and see what I was doing. Sandbox, some of this little kid, she always knew where I was. She just looked out the window, yelled my name. Beautiful place. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to go there. And back then it was the blueberry capital of the world. I don't know if it still is at this moment, but I remember going into a cold storage in Singapore in a fruit section. I picked up these blueberries and I looked at the packaging because I was just curious. And it said from South Haven, Michigan, on the blueberries, all the way over in Singapore.
Right.
And I'm holding these blueberries up, you know, people are walking around, like, going, these are from my hometown. These are from my hometown. And people are looking at me like, you know, but I'm that way, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So how was the music? Was music always part at home? How's that?
My mother played piano in the church every Sunday. So I picked up this music. My stepdad, he played saxophone, which I consider him my dad. You know, he raised me just like his blood. And so that's my dad. He played saxophone, man. He would sit on the floor. He served in the military, so he played in the military, but he also did that for his hobby. He loved to play jazz. And so that was his time off from work. And he'd have his little drink and he'd sit down and he'd play. And sometimes people would come around the community, they could hear him playing in the house, and they would be out standing in the street listening to this saxophone going on. So I got really inspired by him. Willis Earl Nelson III. Yeah, Jr. Willis Earl Nelson Jr. Yeah. So that's how I got into music. And it really inspired me. In the radio stations where I'm from, you know, we got a mixture of everything. It was not one black station or just a white station. It was a mixture of everything. So I'm hearing all this different music, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Blessed to have been raised in that part of the world, in that little state, in that little county of South Haven. Yes, something special.
Yeah, and then Detroit, Michigan had a very vibrant music scene as well, right?
Motown was going on big time back then, and that's on the east side of the state. But yeah, it's still spread all across Michigan and the world, of course. Motown, and yeah, that was happening big time when I was a little boy. Right. So yeah, I was hearing Smokey Robinson and all these Temptations and Manhattans and Shy Lights, and hearing all these different, you know, all this movement was going on in Motown. Not that all those bands were with Motown, but Temptations and Smokey Robinson, you know.
Right.
Real good music.
Right. So how did you got into playing bass? Was that your first choice, or?
Actually, man, my mother tried to, she wanted me to be a piano player, right? And I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. I have a segment where I tell about my music history, but I couldn't get it all in there. I can tell a little bit more about it on you know, Channa Channa show, you know. She wanted to put me in these piano lessons, right? So she kind of was forcing me into it. So I started learning I learned things by ear. and I didn't want to do it. So I would play the piano. I started picking up the notes, and I look at the sheet music and pretend I'm looking at it, reading it, but I actually had memorized it. Right. And then the teacher caught me, I guess after about a month or so, 2 months, and she said, she put some sheet music in front of me, but she had changed the notes. she suspected that I was what I was up to, and I sang along to the title of what was there, but actually she had changed the notes on the song to something else, and that's how I got busted. She told my mother, do you know that your son is actually learning music by ear? He's not really picking up reading. He's just memorizing it. You're wasting your money. So that ended the piano lessons, and I went into playing the trumpet a couple of years later in a program in school, just to get away from the, piano. Because, I couldn't pick up, I wanted to be an entertainer. I saw musicians on stage, get entertaining. And I can't pick up a piano and run across the stage and groove, you know what I mean? So I wanted something that I could get out there and just get down with, So I ended up playing going away from the trumpet into the drums, and then my mom said, "This is too loud. It's too loud. It's too loud." So I ended up learning from my little brother Tyrone's little acoustic guitar, right? So he had that, and I started fiddling around his little acoustic guitar, and then eventually I started picking up songs. And I remember hearing Casey and the Sunshine Band. Right. That's the way, I like. So I picked up that easy bass line, and then I felt that groove, man, and then I was hooked from there on. Right. Yeah. Yep. And that's how I got into the bass, because I used acoustic guitar as a bass. And then my mom found out that, she heard how I could play this thing, and she made a deal with me. She said, I'm going to give you a real bass guitar if you play in the church. And that's really how it happened. Right. Yeah.
You remember what was your first bass guitar?
It was a copy, because we couldn't really afford brand name Fenders and stuff like that. So it was like a copy of a Fender Jazz type. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was it did the job. You know what I mean? She got me this little tiny acoustic amp, the 15-inch speaker in it, and so that was the deal. And a few months later, I was playing in my first gospel quartet group, Harmony Gospel Singers, man, in South Haven. And as a little kid, 14 years old, 15 years old, going to these different church revivals around the area. And that was a great experience. Really, I never forget it. That's where I got my roots from. Feel for music. The feel, just to the feel music, no matter if it's rock, R&B, country, Western, there's a feel in everything. So go for that feel, get it. Right. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Because what I noticed when I saw you perform, it's very hard to put you in a particular genre, because you encompass so many different styles, different vibes, right? So it's from the influence of all this playing in different sort of music, right?
Yeah, well, I was hearing as a kid, you're hearing back in this, I got to tell my age, it's okay, I'm way back in the early 70s, late 60s, you're hearing the Who, Smokey Robinson, what is it, Sly and the Family Stone, man. But that was still one of my favorite all-time soul bands, and the fact that it was a mixed band back in those days. It was mixed white and black, and I thought that was, with the way racism was back in those days, I thought to see a mixed band was the coolest thing on the planet, because I felt this band was spreading love to the whole world, showing the world that all races can get along, So I felt that from Sly and the Family Stone, and man, God, it just makes me this feeling about it. I could feel this band, man, And we listened to Rolling Stones. I thought they had cool music. The Kinks, the Who, the Doors, all this stuff was playing. I could hear it as a little kid. These songs are playing. Carpenters, So it's like a goulash. I'm hearing all this stuff just going on. Led Zeppelin had come out and stuff like that. So it was Rush, Geddy
Right.
Lee. It's like, hey, whoa.
Any bands you remember that you liked from the Detroit area or from Michigan?
Oh man, Iggy Pop. I got into Iggy. Oh, I love Iggy Pop, man. You got that punk stuff, you know. Wow. Eminem is from Detroit too. He's got a rap thing, but I'm not into that rap that's got a lot of vulgar words. I like rap, but if it's clean. I don't believe in all the swearing and vulgarity. I think it wrecks the beauty of the music to me.
Right.
No offense to any of the rappers out there or anything. I just think that rappers can deliver the message in a very good way, and I think more of the world will accept it as something really good, because some really good rap, really nice, beautiful rappers out there, but the vulgarity to me ruins it.
Right.
I'm sorry.
There's one more artist from Detroit that I like is Ted Nugent. You know Ted Nugent?
I was trying to think of more because there are more. Thank you very much for bringing Ted. I'm sorry I didn't bring the name up. Yes, right. Ted Nugent. There's more too, man. Just not rolling them off the top of my head right now. Yeah,
because I talked to Muruga Booker. He's also from Michigan, right? So
yes, I know who he is.
Yeah,
Muruga Booker. Shout out there.
So I did a similar talk with him because I think he's kind of further in the generation than you, because he's way a bit more older. So he had a lot of stories to tell me about Detroit music scene and all these places that he played. So it's very interesting. So I think I should ask you. Yeah, I think I should ask you this question. So, who is your favorite bassist? Maybe your top 3 bassists.
Thank you. I was going to say, if you let me answer maybe 3 from the era of the 70s and then 3 from the era of the 90s, there's so many great bass players out there, but I pattern myself to I like back in the 70s, Bootsy Collins from Parliament Funkadelic, Larry Graham, Geddy Lee. I got to put Louis Johnson in there from Brothers Johnson, and Aaron Mills from Cameo. Okay. Now, from that era, and coming into the 90s, Red Hot Chili Peppers, which had already been out in the 80s, but Flea is definitely my guy, man. Flea, and then Tim Comerford from Rage Against the Machine, who also was the Audio Slave, and Prophets of Rage. Man, Tim Comerford's got a nice style, nice effects, and Sam Rivers from Limp Bizkit. Oh man, I'm gone. Those guys, woo! The funk rock.
Right.
They lay it down, man. They laid down some nice, heavy funk rock groove. They laid down the bottom.
Right.
Really. Right. Sorry, I get excited about this stuff, man. It's beautiful. Seriously.
So, Teague, playing on the gospel revival on the churches, and that, then what was your next band that you actually played on stage?
After I think that was about 15 or 16, I talked to my mom about I wanted to, because I'm from a small town, I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to grow more. And I'm from a small town and I couldn't. There was nowhere I could go, and I begged her. I said, can I go stay in Milwaukee, Wisconsin with my grandmother? And she was reluctant a bit, but she knew that we've been going there for summer holidays all the time, going to Milwaukee. Our relatives would come to Milwaukee all the time and visit. So she trusted that I was going to be safe there. So she let me go my senior year. I finished my senior year at North Division High School and stayed with my grandma. And I was in stage band in North Division my senior year. And then through the networking with the musicians in stage band, we made some good friends. My name got spread around through the music community, and they were telling other people, there's this guy, Teague, he's this guy. At that time, my name was Nelson. I was going by the name of Nelson, David Nelson. And then I took over my mother's maiden name, but just so people know, back in Milwaukee. And I was in high school, and I got a lot of contacts. And when I graduated, my first band that I was in, R&B band called Dazzle. And that was the first time as a teenager I was in a full R&B band, and we were doing gigs and going up into Upper Michigan and other places. And we actually went to the studio and recorded an EP. And that was my first time ever, going in the studio and recording with a band as like doing a professional recording. I was excited, man. Went from this little, I'm still in my teens, man, and I'm doing this. So that was the first band. And right after that, I joined the Red Ball Jets, which was a kind of a punk rock, rockabilly kind of band. So I was getting all this experience, man, doing different styles of music. Plus I would play in other people's, they needed someone for a night to do a gig. They call me, they ask me, hey man, I got a gig on Wednesday night. Can you do this? So I would be doing R&B one night, maybe rockabilly, punk, 2-3 days later, now I'd be playing with Dazzle doing R&B. So I was doing different kind of stuff downtown. And so my skills was becoming better. I'm getting seasoned, like still 19, 20 years old.
Right.
Think of it like that, but when I do it, it's something for someone to be that young, and yeah.
So Teague, so how did this? When did you get the chance to come to Asia?
That's after I did later in life, I joined up and was able to do a tour with Alexander O'Neill, R&B recording artist. It's world famous. And we came to Japan to do a tour in Japan back in 88. It's my first time going out of the USA. I'm about 27 years old. I'm getting ready to go out of the USA. I'm going to go out of the country. I can't believe it. And I'm going to go to one of the places that I've always dreamed, looked on the map as a little kid. I'm always in class, 8, 9 years old, looking at, we had the globes in school. I got Thicky back here a little bit. We had these little globes, the world map. And I'd always stare at Asia. So here we are, we're going to Japan, right? Wow. So met a lot of people. And again, you network, you meet a lot of people when you're out there on the road, wherever you go, and went back to the States. And after my days with Alex was finished, I had contacts in Asia and I had met people. I got a call back within like the same year to come back, offered a gig to come back to Japan to do a gig with another band called Doo-Wop. And this was an ex-guitarist from the group, R&B group called Sun. Right. And he asked me to come back to do a gig with him in Japan. After that, just fell in love with Asia again. I had an opportunity for, right? Let's go to Singapore. And that's my first 91. Fell in love with Singapore. And then in Singapore, did some venturing over to Malaysia because it's just across the water from southern peninsula of Malaysia. So got to experience Kuala Lumpur, came into Johor Bahru, went up to Kuala Lumpur. And the vibe of these cities, man, I was thinking, wow, it's just like being back in the States, only it's Asian people, it's the vibrant. So I ended up just staying over here ever since then. I decided to stay, I think I went back one time, from 90 to 95. I was here 5 years. I went back home to visit, came right back. So I basically have been here for the last 30 years,
Right.
Doing gigs all around Asia. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I love it.
You played with, I think it's probably, it's hard to find who you didn't play with in Singapore and Malaysia, right? You play with everybody, right?
I played with a lot of people in Singapore. Yeah, because I've been there so many years in and out of Singapore. So I've played with so many musicians there. So it's like a family. It's a family of musicians. You're playing one night with these group of guys, and the next night it's another event with some other guys, you know, and we're all just networking. And if it's a gig where they want somebody crazy bassist to just rock stuff, sometimes the guys will call me up. Well, call Teague, man. He's the guy for this gig, man, because they want some excitement on the stage. So they'll call me for this gig. If it's a wedding gig, you know, you got to wear the suit, kind of corporate thing. And they know that I don't like those kind of gigs, but I would do them because I knew the songs. So they say, man, Teague, you got a wedding gig. You just got to wear a suit and tie. There's no moving around stage. You're just going to be doing wedding songs, you know, mostly ballads and stuff. No problem. You know, I do those too. But yes, we just networking over there in Singapore. It's like a big family of musicians. Everybody mostly knows each other, and we're all just communicating and just everybody's doing their thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So Teague, one thing very when you perform, I like is because you have your bass guitars with all these LEDs and all this fancy, you know, flashy performance. So can you talk about little bit about your gear, the guitars the bass guitars you have, that how did all this came up?
Well, as a little kid, it started with when I saw Bootsy Collins from Parliament Funkadelic was the first guy that I saw with LEDs in his bass. I was blown away when I saw this guy, man. I mean, this was back in the 70s, right?
Right.
And then coming up to the earlier days, seeing Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan do their shows, I think about 20 years back, I saw them. They did a show. Steve Vai had his Guitar Delights, and then Billy Sheehan. And then when I met Alif, he had LEDs. And I was like, man, whoa, this cat, he had them. And I was like, man, where'd you get those LEDs? So, you know, Alif shared this, big shout out to Alif Putra. He gave me the, the heads up and the things. Hey, man, this is the way you can do it. So I contacted the people, same people that did Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan's and Sam Rivers bass from Limp Bizkit, sent the stuff there. Yeah, because I always dreamed of having LEDs, you know. Matter of fact, this was the first one I got right here. It's made more like Steve Vai's. It's the lights you see that come on there.
Right.
And then it's got just like his, got the laser in the top, right?
Right.
I love to use this on the show. And I got this one here just to share with you. This one, when I got the second one done, this is my Marie bass. I named them after my wife. This is Joe bass is right there. This is Marie bass. When I got the second one done, I told Martin, I said, I want this one to be like a spaceship. I wanted it to look like, man, it's like an airport running, light up, really light up, right?
Right.
And it's got in the side, so if you turn these off, up here too. And the headstock, like Billy Sheehan's, right?
Right.
And then when we do the big shows and they turn the lights down and you can't really see, I still have the side frets, so I can see these in the dark. And I still know where I'm going when the lights go down low, right? So
right.
Have that effect. So this is all custom done in England. Yeah. Big shout out to Martin Sims. You know, thank you, Martin, for doing that for me. You didn't do it for free though. It cost money. But I paid for it, Martin.
Right. You talk about Alif. So how did you meet Alif?
I used to play at this place at Clarke Quay in Singapore. It's called One Night Stand.
Right.
That was the name because it was a comedy club too, so they called it the One Night Stand. A lot of people say One Night Stand. What is that? What? No, it was called One Night Stand because it was a comedy club. So I was playing with the band. We were called Six in the City, right? And Alif was good friends with a lead singer. He stopped in a few times and we met. And then we talked a couple times, and and he'd say, "Hey man, I like your style on stage. You grooving up there, and you're wild. And you mind me of Flea, something like that. Because I like Flea style. I'm just like to be wild on stage." And they had we met. I was going back to Indonesia after that. I left, and I went to Indonesia to do some other gigs, and I came back to town. That's how we met. We met actually at One Night Stand, but after that, I left and went on the road to Indonesia. And I came back, and this was like a year or two later, or whatever. And he was at a place called Insomnia, and they were looking for another bassist to join their band. And so I was here in Singapore on a break, and I was going to go back to Indonesia for the next gig. And then they said they had an opening that was going to be coming up. So would I like to join? So I figured, hey, you know, that was a good opportunity because, you know, like my sons are young and they're growing up in Singapore. And I said, you know, I could be around my boys because a lot of musicians are on the road doing gigs and the families, whatever, you know, they're traveling around. So I figured, yeah, it's a good opportunity. So I took that and I worked with Alif at Insomnia for like 3 years. And that's how we became very good friends.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a very good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, he amazes me a lot because he's such a great guitarist, right?
Yeah, he loves Steve Vai, and he's got all that. He's got that mannerism down and all that stuff. He's yeah. He's actually good old Alif.
Yeah, because I met Alif. I saw you guys perform, but I wasn't able to talk to anybody at that show. But after a few months, there was a Richie Kotzen show. So I met Alif there because Alif was also he was there also to meet Richie Kotzen. So that's where I talked to him. And then after that, I was a fan of him first, but now I'm also a friend of him.
Yeah, he's interesting person, and you know, he just loves his guitar. I mean, like I love bass, he loves to play his guitar, man. So, you know, it's real humble. And what else can you say? It's Alif. He's different, and he's got his own style. I mean, you know, he has a style. Just Steve Vai is his influence, as others are, but he really loves Steve Vai. So
right. So Teague, preparing for this, this episode, I did some research. I came across this album online called Teague Express.
Okay. Yeah. Did you get a kick out of it? Yeah, you're laughing, I could tell.
Can you tell me about that album?
Okay, well, my back is against the wall. Yeah, you know, when I wrote those songs, matter of fact, those songs are actually supposed to be like funk rock songs. The originals, those are not the original versions of the originals. I did all the tracks myself, but what happened is a friend, producer guy, we had this deal. He wants to produce the songs, but the deal was they got to be done his way. You know, that old producer way, like how they do in the record labels and stuff. And they want to change their music and they want to make it sound like this. So he felt that they needed to be done in this kind of manner, this style, because he felt my rock way was kind of, I don't know, whatever. But I made the deal, and I felt this was an opportunity to get a CD done, and I might not ever get a chance to CD. So, you know, I flew to Bali and we recorded these tracks. He already had the music laid out, right? And so we agreed to this agreement, and I would just do my vocals over the tracks that he had, you know, redone based on the music that he got from my rock, you know, the rock tracks. He listened to the stuff that I'd done, put on, because back in those days, I had done this on the old analog, you know, 4-track stuff, you know, and I wanted to redo it in a proper studio. But that was the deal. He's going to do it his way. And so I did that. And those songs, they're not me. My friends would hear them. They hear the CD and they say, man, this is not you, Teague. You're more funk rock. This is not you. And I understand that. And they were giving me their honest opinions. And I take them to heart because I feel that way. It's done. It's a CD. Oh, matter of fact, now I was going to pull it out, but no need. Should I? It's down here somewhere. I got it in a drawer. Wait a minute. I'll get it for you. I have it somewhere, man. One of these drawers. Oh, here's one. Teague Express. Whoa. Teague Express. So I actually thought of maybe revamping some of these songs and making them more back to Teague style. Maybe redo some of these, but I've been so busy on other projects. I haven't gotten back to actually in my own music, doing my own stuff, because I'm doing stuff with other musicians around the world. And so my involvement with the A+, I'm busy doing assignments and things like that. But it's actually something deep down inside me that I would like to have my own CD properly done, Teague the way I would do it.
Right.
And so hopefully someday, if, the chance, if it permits, I will do it. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that was done 11 years ago. So yeah. You have any more questions about that CD, Channa?
So, so Teague, one more person that you collaborated a lot with is
Yeah.
Luke Buirski. Right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we were doing a lot of stuff together together before COVID hit. The past 10 years, I met Luke back in, I think, 2009 or something. I'd heard his name a lot. He was back like a young cat. He's about 20 years old back then. And we did a lot of, collaborating on stuff. The first group I did his recital with him. He was going to LaSalle School of the Arts, right? So when I first met him, a couple months later, he asked, could I do this recital with him? Because graduation recital from, we did that at the Esplanade outdoors. And that was a cool recital. And I said, wow, this is a cool thing for musicians to be able to graduate from a, music school, and they can do this performance in this venue.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they were like stars. That's what a great way to treat the students, man. I thought that was really cool. We became friends after that show more, and he wanted to do more after that. And I remember I first met him. It was at Bras Bazaar. If you've ever been there, down City Hall area. There's music stores there like Sweetly and Ranking Sports. The first time I actually met him, I was inside this shop testing out this Music Man, what is the Stingray bass, and I came out of the shop and he was standing outside talking to some I think a young guy. And I looked at him, he was decked out like he was going to be doing a show, and it was in the middle of the afternoon. So I thought that was cool because most musicians will just be in, and he was in a nice jacket. I said, hey, man, you musician, hey, what's up, man? Because I speak to everybody. Hey, dude, what's up? What's up? And he answered back, and I said, you're a musician. Yeah. And he introduced himself as Luke, and I said, yeah, I've been hearing your name around the past year from some friends. So we finally met like that. And then he says, I'm Teague, but yeah, I've heard about you too. And that's how that started. Just like that. Mm-hmm. And we did some work.
Yeah.
Luke Buirski project, LBP, did an EP, and then later Dirty Perfect came about. Yeah.
You had something called The Professionals as well, right?
That was with John Class, and that was John Class. He was, I think, formerly from a band well known called Kick, and he got us together and formed this group. Luke informed him about me, so he called me to come in, and started it. That went about a year, I think, and a half maybe. We actually went off to France and did Madame Festival. Yeah, that was real nice. John Class is doing very well too right now. But yeah, the Professionals, we had to wear the suits everywhere time we played. So that was the thing, the Professionals. Yeah.
So I was able to see Dirty Perfect, you guys perform before COVID. So I think you were playing in Boiler Room or somewhere there, right? In Clarkey.
Is that like the old
what is that place with the brewery?
Then they changed it to
I think it's Crossroads, right?
The Crossroads.
The Crossroads.
After that.
Yeah, Crossroads. Yeah, so I was able to see
called Crossroads.
Yeah, so Dirty Perfect, because I really loved it, because that combination of what you guys put out it reminded me of, like Faith No More, like, it's very funky, and it was really amazing, the music that you put out as Dirty Perfect.
Yeah, and that was the deal with Luke, that if we're going to do this again after LBP, we're going to do a collaboration we're going to do more funk rock kind of thing, more driving. And so that was the deal, and that's what we did. And yeah, I really enjoyed that because it's just three, like I said, 3-piece band. So there's a lot of room for me to just move around, a lot of room for me to really dig into the bass and cover all the bottom, and then a melodic mids while Luke's doing his thing. And then the drum beat is just, just that power groove. And man, I love that. Really. That's why I love Limp Bizkit so much, and Audio Slave and Rage Against the Machine and Chili Peppers. I like that space, and the bass is able to just really, really stand out and cover the areas that I like covering. And aggressive, beat, get it,
Right.
Enjoyed it a lot, man. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
So Teague, I noticed that you're working with this new platform called Ye Plus. So you're very active on that on the internet. So can you tell me what is Ye Plus and what do you do with Ye Plus?
Yeah, Ye Plus is man. The best way to describe them is it's a platform for not just indie artists, but right now indie artists to come and it's a platform for them to reach out and to the people. Ye Plus gives that opportunity. It's really transparent, supportive, all about positivity, and not just music, everything in life. I mean, whatever it is that you do, Ye Plus is behind anything that's spreading positivity, that's about good. No negativity. There's no vulgar stuff, no bad news, no getting into politics. None of that stuff. It's all about just positive things. And the platform is beautiful admin, and it's new. It has growing fast. People are coming aboard, and it's just by day, it's just growing and growing. And I'm really proud and happy to be part of something that's doing something for the world. I've always dreamed of being part of something that's doing something good. Not taking that. Ye Plus is trying to reach out to people, bring people together. It's a really beautiful platform, and big shout out to Ye Plus, everyone. Can I say their names? Can I say their names?
Yeah.
John K. Emiko Carlin, Justin Bridges, Abigail Shelton, Alif Putra, Joanna Cooper.
Yeah.
And there's a new guy, Mike. Big shout out to you too, man.
Yeah.
Mike, Steve.
Yeah,
Yay!
Yeah, I follow that. I follow Ye Plus on like in Facebook and Instagram, and I see that they're promoting things which are positive and have a very positive outlook. And I think what is really need in this time of this age of where we are, right?
Yes, especially now, man, the way things are with the COVID, and just it's the world being shut down for this past almost year now.
Yeah.
People, something's going on, and it's it's not cool what's happening to the world, to people. But yeah, we just reached Ye Pluses to try reaching out there, trying to just give some hope and love to people. Really. I'm really proud to be part of that. I really am. Because we care. We really do. Serious.
Right. One thing, Teague, I really love what you're doing is Teague Talk, which you are really talking to people how, like, you're educating the younger musicians about showmanship, how to protect their music, and how to put out their music, and all these things that it's very hard to find that information. A lot of people are not really sharing that with anybody, right? They try to keep it to themselves. So I really love that you're doing that. So can you tell me a little bit about Teague Talk?
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Channa, too. Yeah, really, because what you said, everything that I speak about on Teague Talk is things that I experienced. So I don't speak about something that didn't happen to me. And I felt that it was time for me because no one, as I said in the talks, it was when I was young, was teaching me this. The elder musicians that I was hanging with, I think they were actually using me because they know I didn't know these things. And so I was laying bass tracks for people, stuff like that, and bands, and wasn't signing any documents. I wasn't signed to an entity, a union, ASCAP or anything, or BMI. And these things, young musicians, I'm just trying to spread what happened. I went through the road of hard knocks, as I say in the Teague Talks. You don't want to follow the road I took because it can be so much easier for you. I went through some bad times that I actually brought upon myself just not having the knowledge that I was supposed to have. I just always thinking, I'm just gonna get on my bass and I'm gonna be as good as I can at songs, and I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna perform and I'm gonna play and I'm gonna play and then I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. No, it's not like that. It's a lot more to it. There's a business behind it, and you have to know it. And if you don't, you will get eaten alive.
Right.
So my duty, I feel now as an elder, because I've been out here so many years, and now it's time for me to, hey man, I can't keep, you get to a certain age, man, it's time to pass the football, man, pass the ball. I can't take this with me. This knowledge was given to me through hard knocks, and my talent was given to me from the Creator, from the Most High. I used to think the same way. I'm not sharing anything with anybody because I've been through the school of hard knocks and I had to work for this. I'm not going to just give it away. Decades of knowledge that I've had to acquire and then just give it away overnight. And that's the wrong thing to do. That's why I said spreading the positivity. Young people, if they don't want to listen to me, it's free information that I give to them. It doesn't cost any money. I don't ask anybody, hey, click the link down below, do this and go here. No, I'm putting it out there for them to know. And they can take it and go, you know what? I think Teague is, I understand what he's saying because I'm going through some of this stuff. And other guys that are my age, that are veterans that have been out here, they text me and they tell me, hey man, I think it's a good thing you're doing because you need to let the young people know. It's for them to know, really. And it's coming from the heart. And that's all. Anyone can text me, inbox me, anything, and say, hey T, ask me a question. I don't know everything. There's things I don't know. I ask questions. They have an experience. Text me, let me know your experience, something I don't know. Just tell me. Connecting, communicating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because when you talk with somebody, you actually you learn as well, right? You're telling something, you're educating somebody else, plus you're also learning from it, right?
Yes, I am indeed. The older you get, you learn until you leave this world. Anyone that's not learning when they leave this, they think that they know everything. Well, hey, do you know anybody who knows everything? I don't think so. We're always learning every day.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Teague, that because you talk about this, being part of a organization, or so protecting yourself, your intellectual property, your rights to your music and all that, because it's very important nowadays.
Yes.
With all the internet streaming base, and anybody can just copy your music and put it out and then say that it's their music, or they can start making money from your music, right? Without just takes like few minutes to do it, right?
Well, you're absolutely right. And I urge, especially in these times, all you musicians out there, if you're collaborating with anybody, whether you're in a basement and you guys just got an idea, I'm just telling you, keep track of what you're doing, because people you write with, this has happened to me, I'm telling you, it's honest to God truth. I've written songs with people and songs have gone off somewhere, and I can't prove that, I can't get anything for that song. For those songs, that album, that EP that I played on, EPs that I played on, I get nothing because I was not signed to any organization. So there's nothing I can do.
Right.
So you don't want to be in those shoes.
Right.
Yeah. So always, as Channa's saying, protect yourself. You're only hurting yourself if you don't.
Yeah. So Teague, I really appreciate that A Plus and you putting a Filipino song on the A Plus radio in an KWSS Arizona. I think
Yeah.
it's probably the first Filipino song to play there. I don't know, maybe, but
Well, yes, among and yes, and yeah, man, and that's a good song too. But there's another guy named Obet Rivera. Yeah, and he's from the Philippines too, and he has a song. So yeah, man, Yay Plus is reaching out, like I said, to the indie artists, man. There's no discrimination, no prejudice, no nothing, gender, whatever. You got good music, you're out there trying to do it. Yay Plus is trying to help promote it. You know, it's reaching out. Any of you people out there got your indie music and you want to be heard, come to Yay Plus. It's not hard. Yay Plus. Look us up.
Yeah, so we played a Filipino song, so I think we should play the Sri Lankan song also, which I sent to you.
No problem, man. You know it, Channa. You know it.
Yeah. Because
Sri Lankan song.
I also have the same sort of a view that I try to help musicians as much as possible I can, because I don't do anything for, like, for to gain anything from them. I support them genuinely because I love their music. I would talk about them, and I would recommend them to anybody because I really love the music.
Yes. Yeah. You speaking of that too, man. Yourself, you've been to so many concerts. You show up everywhere, dude. You really, yeah. You should tell people about that too, man. That's why that's why we always see you everywhere in Singapore, in Malaysia, Metallica concert, which we opened up for Metallica in Singapore in 2013. 2000, I'm going 2013, just 7 years back. Changi Exhibition Center. Yeah.
Right.
You get around, man. You fly in, fly in.
In 2017, I think I watched 69 concerts.
Woo! Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and then beautiful. It's mostly it's over 50 every year. But so 2019, I think I watched around like 50 plus concerts in 2019. But in 2020, I only watched 8.
Yeah, thanks to Mr. COVID, right?
Right.
Boy. Yeah, that was, whoa, we hit a brick wall 2020, didn't we? Wow, we all just come, February, lockdown, and everything just stopped. Everything just stopped, man.
Right.
I remember, when the announcement was made for the COVID, I was on stage, and at break time, the manager came to the band and said, the announcement, you got 24 hours to either leave Singapore or be in Singapore. Tomorrow night at the same time, the borders are closed. And I packed my gear up, man. Told the management, I said, look, I am not coming back. They said the borders are going to be closed for 2 weeks, but something in my system, in my gut feeling was, no, it's not going to be closed for 2 weeks. This is going to be something bigger than that. And I got it, my stuff packed up, put in the car, and came back to Malaysia. And man, I would have still been stuck in Singapore had I not made that move. I would be there now from last March. Boy, was that one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my entire life. Really.
Yeah. So Teague,
my wife is here. Yeah.
So this pandemic and all this shutdown and all this, did you realize something about yourself? Did you learn some lesson from all this experience?
Well, it forced learn, yes, and forced. And not only did I learn, I was forced to learn, because us musicians, we were not, I've been on the stage for the past 7 years before this lockdown last year in March. I had been on stage for 7 years, 6 nights a week, 7 consecutive years. It was just just nonstop, just 7 years, you know, Sundays off, whatever. Some Sundays playing 7 nights a week, whatever. And then all of a sudden, this 7 year streak of just playing, gigging, because that's all I was doing, recording with bands, playing with different bands for 7 years, doing shows, events, everything. And then all of a sudden, there's this announcement and cut. And then a week after that, I have not playing. I remember looking out the balcony, looking out the window. It's like some kind of, you know what I mean? It's like, my wife looked at me, she goes, I didn't know what to do. I was,
right.
you know, I'm
right.
just used to being out playing, and then all of a sudden everything stopped. And so after some time, the 2 weeks went by, the band didn't lift, we were going into an extension, and then we knew this was something serious. It kept going. So I had to learn how to do something else, man. I had to learn how to do record music with my different artist friends around the world. They're still writing from home. And they were asking me, hey man, what system are you using? You using you using Cubase, using Fruity Loops or whatever? I was like, man, no, I've been just playing. I haven't been sitting down with the studio and doing things. I've been too busy doing this stuff. I had to sit down and learn how to record the tracks, you know, get a system, get interface, all the stuff needed, plug with the bass, learn, trial and error, recording crappy tracks, how to be able to get the track better, and then, you know, how to get it off to them, you know. It was, man, a learning experience, which now I am happy that part of it was good for me, I must say. It forced me to do something else that I'm becoming better at. And, you know, Yay Plus and everything came along, and doing all these things, and knowing John Can from Yay Plus, the CEO and things, from meeting 11 years ago. And then they putting this project together, the company, Yay Plus, him and Nico Carlin and stuff. And it just became, look at me, I'm doing music. I was doing music, you know, like online before it came along, but still that with this, and then I'm just growing. I mean, I'm growing and I'm growing more. So to answer that question, what you said, yeah, it forced me to do something else, and I learned from it. And I also learned that, I mean, I love people anyway. It just makes me love people even more, because I, like some of my musician friends, a lot of them, and a lot of my friends haven't been fortunate enough to have the opportunity that I have, and they've had to go back to their homeland countries, and, you know, so it hasn't been so great for everyone else. And so that part I feel bad about. I'm hoping that things get back to a place where musicians are back on the stage and playing live and reaching out to the people through live music, because people love to hear live music. I don't care. We can live stream all we want. I mean, that's great too. You can watch bands live streaming, but that's nothing like going to a club and seeing a band going off, and the sound system is nice and the band's pumping and you're feeling that energy. There's nothing gonna replace that. I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
But although there was a pandemic, you actually released. You were featured on a song that was released in 2020, right? With Cronkite Satellite.
Yeah, Cronkite Satellite is a very talented man. This guy really deserves, he should be on a label, major label, man. This dude can really, if you met him, this guys, he can do so much, man. He's a one-man band. But yeah, that's what we collaborated. One day I said to him, we met a few years back, and we did a show before the pandemic, the lockdown last year at Circular Road. We did a gig together with Cronkite Satellite and Dirty Perfect. And so after the lockdown, no one's seen each other for months and months, just keeping in touch through, texting and stuff. And I said, hey man, send me a beat. Cronkite, send me a beat. So he sent me a beat with a scratch vocal, and I laid a bass track to it, and I sent it back to him. And then we're gonna work on this song, and he put the lyrics to it, and we made the song. Cronkite Satellite, Saint We Ain't. I like that song, man. I really love it. Yeah. It's really and he's speaking about his hometown back in Minneapolis and what happened with the riots and stuff like that. So that's what the song is about. So it's not just about anything. It's talking about Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the crap that's going on in the States. You know, it's again back in the USA. Look what's going on, and we don't want to get into politics, but it's places fall apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cronkite Satellite.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Cronkite Satellite. Saint we ain't.
Yeah. He's called the Mr. Loop, right?
Yeah.
He loves loops. I mean, he's so good at it, right? Oh my
Yeah.
God. I heard this one he did the Beastie Boys Sabotage cover.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Hey, people check out Cronkite Satellite. Yeah, he's a one-man band. He can do all this looping and stuff. I got to throw a plug in there for him. Yeah, you're right, Channa. Seriously.
Right.
He's
So,
amazing.
so Teague, what's coming up? What's upcoming? What are you working on? Anything that you can share?
Yeah, I'm doing some projects with other artists still again, continuing, collaborate. Again, we're going to do something again with the Cronkite Satellite and some other guys. Luke is doing his thing over there. So don't know about Dirty Perfect right now. We'll probably, when things get better, maybe we got some songs, unfinished songs that we were going to go in the studio and do before this all happened. So that got all cut off, and I'm over here. He's in Singapore, so yeah. And just to continue, and grow with Yay Plus, and the company's, man, is getting bigger and bigger day by day. So I'm looking forward to the journey that I'm going on with Yay Plus. So it's growing, man. It's new still, and it's just going. And so we're on a ride. But I'm in the saddle, got my feet in the stirrups, and I'm hanging on tight.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think EA Plus is in a stage where, because some people even ask me what is EA Plus, because I shared some of the EA Plus stuff. So it's in that stage where people are actually curious about it. So I think a lot of new artists will be coming in, right?
Yes. I mean, as we speak, I mean, getting in new artists sending their stuff in. I mean, man, really, Yay Plus is a new platform. Start from scratch, and it's just going. I mean, it's beautiful to watch it grow the way Yay Plus is growing.
Right.
Really, it's beautiful, and it's all about positivity. That's the beauty of it. It's not someone trying to get out there and just make money or make something off of people. Yay Plus is putting it out there, helping, not taking money from people, helping. Right. Man. Yeah.
So Teague, what's your message to the viewers of the podcast?
Well, I must say, I gotta say, Yay Plus, I gotta speak for Yay Plus in this. My message to the people is like, we're all about positivity and everyone putting our arms out, reaching out to bring in, spread the love. That's what we're all about. And come in, join our family, come and join the Yay Plus family. Come in, everyone is positive people are welcome to come and join our campaign. Yes, that's the message I would like to put out there. Not about myself, for the world, for helping the people of the world,
Right. So Teague, I'm glad that we were able to do this. We've been wanted to do this for some time, so I really enjoyed talking to you. And I really enjoy
I appreciate that.
I really enjoy your performance, your music, and also your positive attitude that you have towards life, because it's really we need this type of people, especially on these times where we are struggling. So really thank you for joining this podcast. So T, can you tell everyone how they can follow you and Yay Plus on social media?
Hey, go into Yay Plus, man. Just dial in. Everyone is invited. Check out the Yay Plus page on Facebook. Go to our we have a website. Go check us out on the Facebook first and get a feel of everything that's going in there. And scroll through and look at all that's happening. Check out Yay Plus. Seriously, go in there. You won't be disappointed. I tell you. Leave a comment. Tell us how you feel about Yay Plus. Let us know. Come and join us. Be part of our campaign. You know,
Right.
the movement, positivity, creativity. Create, captivate, and elevate with Yay Plus.
So thanks, Teague.
Channa.
Thank you, Teague. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining this. Thank you.
And what, right. And you know what? I got to say this. What makes me say yay? Being on Channa 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 and being part of Yay Plus.
Yay, Yay Plus.
Yeah.
Teague Bass, Yay Plus, Teague Bass. Thank you.
Channa, thank you, man. Thank you.